Star Wars, Young Jedi Knights, The Emperor's Plague, Chapter 16. Jaina trotted up to the metal-lined corridor beside Tenelka and Jason. Looking back over her shoulder, she saw that the emergency airlock still held Relicook and his Diversity Alliance guards. She couldn't tell how much longer the barrier would last, though. A moment ago, it sounded as if Tenelka might have a plan. Exactly what kind of drastic measures did you have in mind? Jaina asked. Speed is essential, Tenelka replied, and picked up her pace. Her reflection flickered with physical pain, but the warrior girl did not falter or slow down. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that, Jason planted. At the next branching of quarters, Tenelka said, this way, and turned so quickly that Jaina had to pivot on one foot to make up the turn, causing her to fetch up sharply against the wall. Jason grabbed her left arm and pulled her foot forward. Come on, Jaina. What's the plan, Tenelka? Jaina willed her legs to keep moving. Kind of hard to have a committee meeting while we're on the run. Almost there, Tenelka said, turning left against the next intersection. Jason sped up and hoped Tenelka really did have a plan. Almost there, Jason echoed, trying to encourage Jaina. Hey, almost where? Tenelka skidded to a stop without warning, and then Jason collided with her, forcing him to throw an arm around her to keep her from falling down. Jaina overshot the intersection by a few steps before she managed to stop. We must set explosives here, Tenelka said. Jaina's mind quickly switched to analytical mode, and the gaze swept the walls, ceilings, and joints and supports of the intersection. Structural weak points there. She pointed at each location as she swung her knapsack from the back and rummaged around for the larger thermal detonators. She tossed one to her brother, who caught it easily and began setting up where she had indicated. Jaina set another one by herself. If my sense of direction serves me, the rock dragon is docked just over 100 meters from here, Tenelka said. Set the timers for 3 minutes. Jaina blinked at the other girl. But the blast from these detonators is going to be huge. And we won't be far enough away from the blast unless we do a full takeoff from the rock dragon, Jason finished for her. Exactly, my friends. Shaking his head, Jason pointed his detonator and set the timer. Jaina rigged the second and third detonators, lobbed one at the warrior girl, and then situated the remaining one for maximum damage. But we will take off only for a few minutes, Tenelka said, catching the detonator with one hand and thumbing it in position, then return to a different point free of pursuit. As one, the 3 young Jedi Knights began to run down the corridor to the rock dragon. Jaina put on a burst of speed, which barely kept her ahead of the clock that ticked down each second in her mind. The passageway seemed to stretch endlessly ahead of them. Almost there, Jaina chanted as they ran. Jason chanted as they ran. Jaina's entire concentration focused on the effort of placing one foot down in front of the other without slowing down. Left, right, left, right, left. The airlock hatch swung open right in front of her. Through the haze of exhaustion, she glimpsed her brother's face streaming with perspiration as he held his hatch open for her. Don't stop now, Jaina. She couldn't have stopped even if she had tried. She bolted straight through the hatch of the rock dragon without even thinking about where she was going. Then she dove into the pilot seat, and her hands instantly began moving across the console controls. There was no time for mistakes. In the back of the rock dragon, Jason slammed the airlock shut, and Tenelka was already beside Jaina, slapping the engine power to full. Jaina checked her chronometer and knew there was no time to wait for her brother to get into his crash restraints. Uncoupling from the asteroid dock, she threw the rock dragon into full reverse. Repulsor jets kicked the rock dragon free for a split second before the asteroid began to shudder from the shock of the explosion. In the back, she heard Jason tumble and fall with a loud thunk. Flames and shattered rocks sprayed out from the dome and docking area, but the Hapen passenger cruiser shot away at full power. Hey, no need to worry about me. I'm fine. Jason scrambled to the cockpit as the rock dragon pulled away from the tiny asteroid. You're bleeding, Tenelka observed. Jason looked back in alarm to see a large discolored lump forming on the side of her brother's head. Blood trickled down in a ragged gash to beside one eye. Jason shrugged a shoulder and pulled his crash webbing around him. Built character. Beneath them, an angry, fiery glow marked the site of the detonation. We'll wait another minute until all the aftershocks have died down, Jaina said. Then we'll find a new place to dock. There. Tenelka said, pointing to a dock far below. Jaina nodded. Jason said, Uh-oh, we're not alone out here. Jaina looked around the window port at a cluster of ominous ships racing toward them. The Diversity Alliance Armada.